Welcome to the empty Corsair. It's far from empty. Today's adventure, we're going on a quest to find out what's really in the empty Corsair, the largest uninterrupted body of sand in the world that rests beneath our feet here in the UAE. It's a harsh landscape, and I wanted to know what lives here. And how do people come to inhabit these parts? So to start off our adventure, I went to see how vast the desert really is. And there's only one way to do that.
My name is Hilke, I'm your pilot, and it is safety briefing, so very important. The most important thing during the flight is stay always in the basket.
So you might be wondering, what are we doing at 5 AM in the middle of the Margam Desert? Well, behind me, the hot air balloons are just getting filled up with cold air right now, and then they'll start pumping it full of hot air, and we'll get the cool, got to jump in the balloon very quickly because it takes off, and then we're going to see the beautiful sunrise over the Arabian Desert.
Looks like we're going up.
Okay, Captain Helke, you're our captain for today. So
yeah, for today, yes.
So our takeoff's always that exciting?
Yeah, it was quite normal. It's there came a little bit of wind, but that's
So what can we expect to see today, and what are we flying over?
Of course, sand, because we're above the desert.
Yeah. Lots of desert.
A lot of desert, but there is still, you can see a lot of green here in the desert. So there is water here. Yeah. But if you have that side, that's the Dubai Desert Conservation Reserve.
Yes.
And there are the oryx, the Arabian oryx are running there, and gazelles. Yeah. Probably we can see gazelles here in this part of the desert, but I'm not sure.
Cup! So now we're flying with a falcon, we're sharing the airspace with a falcon. So just see how he's circling around a balloon. And there he goes, Ziggy's off flying.
Wow.
Cup! My name is Henry de Toy, and I'm a falconer. Here we've got Ziggy, and Ziggy is a male peregrine falcon, and your peregrine falcons are your fastest animals on the planet. So a lot of people think a cheetah is, but that's your fastest land animal. Now the fastest speed that's been recorded for a falcon is 389 kilometers an hour. But that's where falcons, they go up high and they stoop down, and that's where they get incredible speed. So use gravity as an engine. Good morning, Ziggy. This is basically the same type of birds the Bedouins use for hunting out in the desert to supplement their diet with some fresh meat, some protein. There we go, dude. Okay, so once again, it's just focus on the food. So other big wildlife we can get out in the desert, the most prominent one is the Arabian oryx, which is also the national animal of the country, while the falcon's the national bird. If you want to get a visual picture, go look on a 50 dirham banknote. This is where you get a picture of the oryx. It's a big white antelope, long straight horns, and it's also sort of where the myth of the unicorn originates from, the Arabian oryx, because of this white animal with the long horns on its head. Another antelopes we get out here is your two gazelle species, your Arabian mountain mountain gazelle, which is the common gazelle species, and then we also get your sand gazelle, which is a little bit more rare that we get. So that's some of your biggest wildlife antelopes we get out here. Some of your nocturnal creatures is your foxes. We get two types of foxes out here. We get your Arabian red fox, and then we also get a sand fox. It's like a small little dog fox we get out here, very cute as well, but very shy and very skittish. We don't see them often.
How do we steer this thing?
No, actually not, because the crew forgot again the steering wheel.
Right.
Yeah. Now we can use wind layers. I'm climbing now very fast because that's our landing spot over there.
Okay.
Low flying is going to the left. I don't want to miss it. Go up a little bit, and there is today wind drifting us a little bit to the right.
Now that my feet were firmly back on the ground, I wanted to see how the animals that live here had adapted to their harsh environment. So I went to Maha Conservation Reserve to find out more about the animals that live here.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
Very good, thank you.
Nice to meet you. And what's your name?
Gert, yeah.
Paris, nice to meet you. Now I see you got a Land Rover as well.
1950s indeed.
All right, well, we'll take yours.
Let's go. Seatbelts for your own safety.
So I notice you're dressed in traditional gear, and we've taken out a 50s Land Rover. So what's all that about?
So with us, the most important thing is history. My name is Gert Nel. I'm a conservation guide here for Platinum Heritage. So if you look at the Omani Scout uniform that we're having, if you look at the vintage Land Rovers, all is part of the history of the UAE Trucial States. With the uniform, there was just a handful of people that actually got the uniform. They were the peacekeepers as well. With the Land Rovers, even with the Omani Scouts, they used the Land Rovers to go from area to area, especially deeper into the desert, fresher goods, you know, building the community up to where it is today. It is super important. So most people, the first thing they think about in desert-wise is just sand. But if you do sustainability, if you conservation, you will find all of the nature around. You will find the Arabian oryx, you find the gazelles, you'll find all of the shrubs. And with all of that comes your smaller little animals. And 80% of your desert animals are nocturnal, so they only come out during the night.
Right.
And for them, they need some place to hide, not just the sand. They need shrubs to keep that sand intact to hide underneath.
Wow, so it's really slippery looking.
Yeah, it has scales instead of skin.
Right.
And it has a spoon-like nose.
So can you just explain to us what it is? What's it called?
It's a sandfish.
Sandfish.
Yeah.
So it's called a fish, but it's actually a lizard.
Yeah. Spoon-like fingers. Nose is like a shovel.
Yeah.
And it vibrates its head super quickly to go underneath the sand.
Right. And so it just goes under the surface of the sand?
They can go up to 3 meters underneath the sand.
Up to 3 meters deep. So the fact that you saw this one was quite a bit of luck, really.
Yeah, indeed.
They're called sandfish, but they're actually lizards. So they can go 3 meters deep into the sand.
Yeah, so they vibrate their heads super quickly.
Yeah.
And they have spoon-like noses.
Right.
Spoon fingers, and then they have scales. Makes it easier to swim underneath the sand.
Right. And so what do they eat?
They eat little insects. So they're also carnivorous sometimes as well, but mostly just insects. So whatever they can find around.
So digging under the water is more about hiding from things, or are they actually catching? So did I say water again? Yeah. They're not fish, they're lizards. So hiding under the sand is actually a form of protection for them, or that's...
Yeah, so that's their escape route. Because you saw when it ran off, it's not super quick. So something can actually quickly grab it if they need to. So the best way to go is down.
Right. So up on the top to find insects to eat, and then to hide from predators under
down. That's the escape route.
Incredible.
Talk about adapting to your environment. Humans have lived here for thousands of years as well. How did they survive? I bet you I can find out some information over at the Bedouin camp. And hopefully, I'll get some breakfast too.
And so what got you into conservation? I mean, this is obviously your job, but I can see it's your passion as well. So what sort of keeps you going?
What keeps me going? Nature's beautiful. If you just sit down for 5 minutes, I guarantee you it will blow your mind. My biggest thing that caught me is the little creatures running around. The smaller the better. And it works up to the big ones as well. If you take your big animals over here, the Arabian oryx, even if you just sit and watch them, watch their patterns and stuff, unique, super unique.
Well, that was a day and a half, so I'll save some energy for the next adventure, and I'll see you then.